Welcome back to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Bally Bet, an official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Nathan Zegura, very happy to be joined by a great friend of the program, the safeties coach for your Cleveland Browns, Ephraim Banda.
Thank you for having me.
Coach, good to see you. I mean,
Great to see you.
You look spectacular, by the way.
know,
Let me just start with that.
Just trying to be like you.
No. I don't have access. This is too good.
It's
You're
gym
ready for
shorts
this, no?
and then you in terms of game day fits that are, top one, top two. So.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Last week I came with a vintage sweater.
Yeah.
I had a vintage sweater with Brownie on it, and Siciliano was giving me grief about it. Universally praised other than him.
I think he's going to give you grief no matter what.
I think you're probably right. I think you've assessed that pretty accurately. All right, let's just talk big picture, your room. How do you feel your guys have done here through the first 6 games?
I'm proud of the resiliency. Like I said before, when I first got into this room and we talked about it early in camp, it's a new room. It was a new room. And I'm excited about, where they've got themselves to in terms of a group. I think people are understanding their roles, and understanding how they can affect the team positively in different areas. So I've liked how it's gelled to this point, and I really like the focus and the attack, the constant attack that needs to be had despite getting the results you want. So I'm excited about that part.
Yeah, well, the one game where we did get the result we wanted, Grant had a huge interception in that game, and it seems like he's really kind of blossomed a little bit into a leader on this team. Is that fair to say? And how have you kind of seen him perform?
It was a point of it was a big point for us to get Grant to really do that for this team. Kevin, talked about it. Jim talked about it. Him and I talked about it. And I'm proud of Grant really doing that in a multitude of ways, whether it's vocal on the field, which we all know on the field he's going to do, but taking the reins and really leading this group through good and bad times. He's done a great job. And obviously, in that situation, that play was huge. I was happy for him, his birthday, the whole thing, to make that play. And him and his desire to get the ball, which is a point of emphasis this year for the team, but also for him to make that play was fun to see.
All right, so we broke that one down on the film breakdown, and now you can expose me for not knowing anything. Because I do not, when I do those, I am not, I'm not privy to the calls, obviously.
Yeah, but
he went on his own a little bit there and baited them?
No, I mean, the biggest thing is and it starts way before, you probably can't even see it on the XO's copy, but the communication between him and the rest of the group was key. He identified a look, he identified a split, he identified a situation, and he communicated across the board.
I'm going to pass him on.
Basically, yeah. And we were working, on the backside with the quarterback who came become a little bit of a runner at that point. Ronnie did a good job just making sure it wasn't, and then kicking back to the middle of the field. But ultimately, and it's the biggest thing I've told Grant, good players are good players. Great players make the ones around them better. And the more you can affect those around you and make them better, the better you are and everyone can be. So that was a moment of greatness in the sense that he talked it out, saw it, identified it, and made a play for the team.
So in a situation like that, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but let's say that was man, but he said, I know what they're going to do here. I'm going to let him go. You pick me up on the backside, and I'm jumping this.
It was an in call, and we did a great job communicating all the way through. So, and again, in certain releases, certain situations where you have that or you don't, you can't. But again, it was just a really good job throughout the week of identifying something that we've talked about on tape, something he saw, and then applying it on the field in game.
And it was awesome, and it helped us get a much-needed win there. Let's talk about the guy who's back there with him the majority of the time, Ronnie Hickman, third on this team in tackles. He's had some big weeks, especially kind of the last 3 or the 2 going in the Pittsburgh game, and played well in that game as well. It feels like he's just kind of blossomed.
He's playing really well. I'm proud of him. We've talked about how big this year is for him, but also if he can play great, how that's going to help this group and this team. He's taken the reins. He's really a super intelligent player, but now he's able to just orchestrate back there and communicate, and he's doing a great job of just keeping everyone on the same page, making sure that we're all right and we're all doing the same things. But then, the other part that I'm just really pleased with him is his tackling. He's really done a great job of.
He had 10 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think it was his career high.
Yep.
But it's the tackles that are key. It's one thing if you're assisting and all that, which is good, and he's getting to the ball because he's chasing the ball. But those high leverage situations, those open field tackles, they're tough, and you're not going to make them all. And he's missed 1 or maybe 2 throughout the year. But if you can get those open field tackles on the ground in attack defense where you're going to be susceptible to some situations because of how we play. If your free safety can eliminate the rack in those situations and give us another opportunity to keep playing defense, we do that consistently, we'll get off the field. And that's what I'm really proud of him. And again, it's the hardest play for a safety in football to make. We rep it a lot. You see us in practice. But he's done a great job of sinking his teeth, into a body part, violent wrapping, and getting on the ground. Sometimes you're going to get run over, but the ball's stopped, and we get a chance to play again.
What does it say to you that he's doing a lot of this from kind of a single high position? We play as much of that as anybody in the league, but to still be reading his keys, reading it correctly, and then making sure he is a part of the plays. Because, sometimes you see single high safeties who just they're just going to chill back there and let, you guys take care of this.
Yeah, I hate that. And it's probably been – if people watch safeties that I've coached over the years, they know that's not the way we work or the way I'll coach it, because you can't. I mean, you can't play 10 on 11. Just because you're a post safety doesn't mean you give you 20, 30 yards. Now, there's times and ops for that, but you need to be involved. And he's done a great job, again, of overlapping the third level and then being there when things, go wrong. And putting fires out. We talk about it. Safeties are firefighters. They got to put fires out. They got to run into the fire, and he's done that at a high level. So, again, I'm just really pleased where he's at. Hopefully these things continue, which I think they will. And he's worked really, really hard to get to this point.
I mean, we play as much three safety as anybody. Rayshawn, obviously, guys come in over 100 games in the league, a veteran. How's he been?
He's been awesome. And, again, for Ray – 100 games, right? Is that what you said? It's crazy.
Well over, yeah. It's like a 120, I think.
That's wild. And has been a really successful safety in this league. And now he's transitioning into, that last part of his career, a lot like Roddy McLeod. And now he's learning a new role, right, in a new situation for himself. And how does he fit in? And I'm really, really happy and pleased with that. He's the OG now. And he's got to take the OG roles in the situations. And he's done a great job. Special teams. He's killed it on special teams. The thing that kind of sometimes goes unnoticed is some of those tackles he's made that if he doesn't get it on the ground, it can be even worse. He's done a lot of that. He's came in on third down situations and is finding his ways to impact the game in situational downs. And then whenever we need something on normal downs, he's ready in there. So I'm really glad. It's fun for me to have coached him in college and now getting the opportunity to coach him now. It's been really good to have him here.
That's cool. How has he kind of evolved since you coached him in college?
Oh, man. He's just grown as a father, as a man, as a professional. People don't understand, like Rayshawn had a crazy background coming up. He's special. He's a 1%er. And for him to come from everything he's been through to this point, to see the father he is to his children, the husband he is, to his wife, and the professional he's become – I mean, that's why I coach. Those are the things that you do it for. Those are the things that you enjoy. Seeing young men grow into really beautiful, strong men is what's fun about it.
Yes, and we talked about it, as your daughter would say, what also is fun about this game, winning is more funner. We've got to get there, right?
Yeah.
How do you guys look? The defenses, one of the top three, depending on what stat you're looking at, top 5 defenses in the National Football League. And we're not getting the results we want in a very much a team game. How do you keep the guys focused? How do you keep, this team all rowing in the same direction? And I know you have a small portion of that defense, but, safety, it bleeds into everything.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. And like I said, my daughter, she tells me it's not whether you win or lose, but winning is more funner. So,
she's right.
She is 100% right. And to answer that question, all you can do is understand that the gift is the present. That's the true gift, and you got to live in it. And yes, I get that the past can pull and chain you and try to pin you down, and the future can scare you. The only thing you can control is right now, and that's all you can focus on. And you got to let go of those chains that are pulling you back, and you can't think about the future, and you just have to be delusional. You have this mindset of delusional attack on what you're doing right now. And if you do that, if you just stay here in this moment and you focus on what's in front of you and this day, and you attack it with the mentality that if you do this, things will work out for you, you'll be fine. And that's the biggest thing for us in the room right now. What can we do right now to get better, to help this defense, that ultimately helps this team achieve the funner things in the game? And that's what we're solely focused on. And I will say this, I'm very, very proud of that mentality and that attack, that constant just go, keep pushing mentality. It's the resiliency that Kevin talks about. It's the culture, and I'm very, very, as a coach, those are the things that you love to see.
For your guys, and really kind of for the defense in general, but it feels like kind of 3 weeks in a row now teams have had a similar game plan in that they're going to get the ball out quick, and they're going to take some one-on-ones on the outside when they get them. But for the most part, they're going to get out quick, and they're not going to give us really chances to make plays, and they're happy to punt it back to us.
Yeah.
How do you kind of stay patient with that? Because teams are basically saying, we're not going to let you guys win this game. We're just going to kind of take our chances where we can.
You gotta stay disciplined. You have to just do your job, like Kevin and Jim say, and you gotta let the things come to you when they do. You gotta let the plays come to you when they do. Our D-line's done a great job. Jock and Amo, those guys are getting after it, and
no doubt,
there's not a lot of time to throw the ball. And if you do try to attack the middle of the field on us, it's going to be very, very difficult. We're going to force the really tough throws, and we're going to lean on our corners, the tip of the spear, to make those plays, and they're going to make the majority of those plays. For us, we just have to do our job, and when they do, when they actually say, I'm going to go ahead and take this chance, we got to capitalize, and that's the key. But you can't chase. If you chase, bad things happen, and that's the hardest part, because the anxiety and the desire to do something is hard to fight when you just got to stay disciplined in your role. And that's the focus right now. And they'll turn. It will happen. We'll get our ops. Just like, the media was asking me about, takeaways and turnovers early in the year. And I said, hey, just do your job. They'll come. And sure enough, they started to come. And we've had a couple other ops where we didn't get the ball one time. Sure. They didn't award us the ball one time, a couple other times. We're punching. We're scratching. That ball's moving around. If you watch some of those things, it's coming. We just got to stay the course.
All right, Dolphins, a lot of pre-snap motion.
Yeah.
Now, they don't have Tyreek Hill, but they still have Jalen Waddle. They got Achane, who's got a lot of speed. Darren Waller, and one of the craziest stories, I think, in the league, right, is just out of the league awesome. And comes back and is catching touchdowns every single week. They've got speed. They've got a lot of motion. They're going to try to cause confusion kind of right as the ball is snapped. How do you kind of deal with and try to slow them? It's very much a rhythmic offense when it's functioning.
Very well designed. I mean, just eye candy everywhere. Motion shifts, trades, lead the NFL. Speed, like you said, they're going to attack your edges. Tua, who can put the ball anywhere, balls out fast. It's just a very, very well designed offense. And they have all the pieces around it. Obviously, don't have Tyreek, and it's unfortunately what happened. But for us, it's about staying true to our principles, right? Protect our edges in a multitude of ways, right? Lean on the things that we do well, right? Don't get too crazy and complicated. They want to get all wild. We're cool. We know, Jim's got a great plan for us, and it's our job to go in there and be us, right? Ultimately, be us. Do what we do well. Don't get blinded by all the different stuff, right? Keep your eyes focused on what you need to be focused on, and communicate and talk and deal it out, right? That's the key in these situations. That's how this league's turned into. This league's turned into that.
Yes,
everyone does it at a variance. No one does it at the variance that they do. The Niners, other places. But we understand how to play against these defenses. We're built that way. Jim's designed it that way, and we're ready for it, and we're excited.
We're excited as well. It's going to get you guys back home in front of the home crowd and hopefully have a little bit more magic and get one of those big wins. Coach, thanks so much for the time and all the insights.
Appreciate you guys having me. Always good to be here.